Hey all, it's Sparks again. I thought I would do another quick little video. Just kind of trying out this YouTube thing, seeing if I like it. Anyway, so I'm at the barn. I thought I'd talk about this SNL thing that happened recently with Elon Musk being on Saturday Night Live and hosting. And I have a lot of thoughts about it. And just for clarification's sake, I don't speak for the autistic community. I'm just one adult that has autism. I'm not all of the adults that have autism. I'm one person. So, I don't speak for the autistic community. And certainly, Elon Musk over there also does not speak for the community. And I also have to put it into perspective of Elon Musk is kind of just a rich asshole. Doesn't speak for the everyday human being, just as much as the president of the United States doesn't speak for the everyday human being. They're kind of out of touch, and I think Elon Musk is definitely a bit of a part of that community as well. But my thoughts are as follows. And first off, I'm going to content warn anybody that might feel a certain way. We are going to discuss Asperger's just as because it's relevant. I'm sorry. We're also going to discuss labels as far as functioning labels. So if you are a person that might feel a certain type of way about that, please feel free to click off the video. That's cool. I'm not going to make anybody or force anybody to sit here and listen to that if that makes you feel a certain type of way. But I'm not going to talk about it in the way that a neurotypical person might talk about it. We're just going to talk about it as in a sense of education, and try to further the understanding between people who are neurotypical and those who are not neurotypical, like me. Just as an aside, I am an adult who has autism. I'm not anybody else. I'm a 25, almost 26-year-old woman who's been dealing with autism my entire life. I was diagnosed, considered early diagnosis. I was diagnosed in 6th grade, so maybe I was 11 or 12, 11-ish. But most girls, it's a really super early diagnosis. Most women are actually diagnosed when they are, I know people even in their early 20s who start reading up on autism and go, I wonder if that's me. They go in and they get diagnosed and they end up finding out that they are part of the autism spectrum disorder community. And that's because autism, the diagnosis criteria, as far as I understand it, I'm not a mental healthcare professional. I'm just a person with autism. So that's the only, what did I say? That's the only thing that I have to speak on. I'm not a professional. Please don't take any of my advice as professional advice. Please go and actually seek out counseling. Please actually go out and seek out a diagnosis if you think that you are autistic or anywhere on the spectrum. Please, 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 for the love of God, go get diagnosed. Don't diagnose yourself, because it could be completely something different if you go and diagnose yourself. The symptoms that you have could be a part of a bigger problem or a part of a completely different problem altogether. So just go and get diagnosed professionally. Don't get diagnosed by somebody on the internet. Don't get diagnosed by yourself. Don't get diagnosed by Dr. Google. Okay? Okay. So all things aside, Elon Musk last night, 2 nights ago now, was on SNL, and he said that he has Asperger's syndrome. Okay? And us in the autistic community, at least me, and I know a lot of the people that I know, not the entire autistic community, but the people that I know, my little corner of the internet, my little corner of people that I talk to, we don't use that term. Asperger's is not a thing anymore. It's not recognized by the medical community. It's not recognized by most of the people that are autistic. Because it actually has legitimate Nazi ties, you guys. The person that this disorder was named after was a legitimate Nazi who in World War II was out here euthanizing children in Nazi Germany. So, like, we really, really don't like that label. It's actually kind of an insult. And for Elon Musk to get out in front of millions and millions of people and say that he has this disorder without doing even a 5-minute Google search is really disheartening. And the problem is I'm concerned, and most of the community that I talk to is concerned that he's going to go and be able to, in the media, speak for the autistic community. And we're not... Part of me is really happy to see somebody who is successful, as successful as someone like Elon Musk, coming out as autistic, because it just might maybe put us in a little bit more of a positive light, which is really cool in that sense. But there's a lot of connotations aside from all the other stupid, crappy things that Elon Musk has done. If you're going to get up in front of millions of people, could you at least do a little bit of research? Maybe at least talk to some other people. Because even me, I didn't know that, because I was diagnosed as Asperger's when I was younger too, when it was actually recognized by the medical community. And I didn't find out until a couple years ago all of the negative connotations that came with it and why it's not recognized medically anymore. And that was maybe a couple years ago. And so I've been trying to just educate people even in my family and say, like, look, this isn't my diagnosis anymore. I know that's what they gave me when I was younger, but now Asperger's is just part of the autism spectrum disorder. And so we don't have Asperger's. We're not an Aspie. We're not anything else. We're just somebody with autism. Like, it's honestly, it's easier anyway. Just have autism. That's cool. Like, just have autism. No extra labels. Just autism. And like, I think that's easier anyway. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this. Anyway, sorry. So the other thing that we have to talk about, just as a whole, is the labels, high functioning and low functioning. As a community, we really don't recognize those terms either. A lot of people feel a really certain type of way, especially women, because while I have all of the classic symptoms, women tend to be really good at masking. And all masking is, what that means is that basically I'm just a really good actor. It's kind of like somebody with depression who you see day to day and would have no idea that they're depressed, right? It's kind of the same with women. Just as a general rule, it's not like, of course, men are good at masking too, but it's just part of the reason that women don't get diagnosed as early as men is because we're really good at masking. We're really good at pretending to be like a normal person and not really understanding why we are the way that we are, or thinking that we're just being weird, or thinking that any of these other kind of things where, how do I put it? Basically, we're just trying to act like everybody else instead of acting like ourselves. In 2021, that's been one of my goals this year, is to quit masking so damn much. Because if people don't like me the way that I am, cool, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's me not making eye contact with you or staring too long at you is not going to kill you. I'm sorry, I'm not being rude. It's just how I am. I'm just as an example. But yeah, we don't really I mean, if you're going to talk about autism, we're just autistic. The only thing that's saying that somebody is high functioning is it's invalidating us. It invalidates the idea that I have symptoms just as bad as everybody else. It's just that maybe I'm just better at pretending that I don't have symptoms. That's all it is. It's like saying somebody with depression isn't a real depressed person because they don't look depressed. They don't look sad. But that's just not the case. Just like somebody who's high functioning autistic, is no less valid than anybody else. It's just that maybe the symptoms are a little bit different for me than they are with someone else on the spectrum. That's why it's called autism spectrum disorder, because there's such a big spectrum of how this, it's not a disease, but how this diagnosis affects people that have autism, right? Like, it will affect one person to where it's a disability where they really can't function in society, where maybe they end up needing some assisted living, maybe they can't really hold a job, or someone like me who I work 50, 60, sometimes 70 hours a week, and function day to day like any other person. But that doesn't make me any less valid. That doesn't make me any less autistic. That doesn't make me any less of who I am. So you saying that I'm high functioning is not a compliment. It's not a compliment. Just stop it. So that's my biggest concern with someone like Elon Musk, who's getting on up here, because the only thing that it's doing, having him up here, is perpetuating some of these stereotypes about people with autism. It's not helping to bridge the gap. It's not helping to help re-educate people, even like myself, that maybe it was one way 5 years ago and now it's not. It's not helping to bridge the gap between people who are neurodivergent and those who are neurotypical. It's not helping that at all. And so, sorry to ramble on for 11, almost 12 minutes, but if anybody actually watches this, thanks. I guess. I mean, that's my rant. So, I'll see you guys later. I don't know.